early Christians, I think they deal with this idea of being, being so drastically different. It's like the before and after pic, Throwback Thursday. I feel like Christians, they do that very early on, and 2 to 3, 4 years, it's Throwback Thursday for them a whole lot. Like, look where I was at before, look where I'm at now.
Yep.
Look where I was, how much, God has helped me financially in this spot, or look, I used to be on drugs, and I get it. The story is amazing, and I'm not mad about that at all. Share your story. It becomes a part, though, when you're no longer, your testimony can transcend and help other people, but the testimony, as long as you don't want the testimony to only serve this idea that you want people to make you, you want it to make you look better. You know what I mean?
So Dennis Prager said essentially that the best way to convert people to Christianity is through being a good Christian, and it's also being a bad Christian is the best way to push people away from Christianity.
Man, I love that.
Yeah, because it's like, it's if you embody the values rather than taking on that moral superiority, because there is no room for moral superiority in the Bible.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
Not at all.
And so if you are somebody who's...
God humbles everybody in the Bible who does that every single time.
Yeah.
Humbles them really quick.
Yeah. So I just love that quote, and I think it's true, because I feel like the best Christians that I know, and I feel like you're on the track of doing this as well, because I don't feel like, you don't directly like preach to people or like do certain things like that. It's like you act in accordance with this, and
sometimes I do.
No, I know you do whenever, especially if somebody asks, or if it's the right moment for you to...
Right, exactly. It's the right moment, yeah.
Right. So it's not, and especially not like a finger-wagging way.
You're a sinner.
Yeah.
That's the most extreme version, but nah.
Yeah, so, no, I think that's true, but yeah, man, that's great to hear. I think that is valuable insight for sure.
Dude, I like it. That quote is amazing, and I'll say it right now, so it's on the record, man. I struggle so hard with being a good Christian, because the fact of the matter is we're debaucherous creatures. We're born with this natural, innate desire to sin, and if sin sends, like so many people, sin puts a bad taste in a lot of people's mouth, especially non-believers or people who haven't fully adopted the Christian faith, because sin just sounds like that wagging the finger thing. You're a sinner, but really it's like, the things that are not good, the lustful desires, the overeating, the jealousy and adultery and lying, stealing, and saying the Lord's name in vain and stuff of that nature.
False idols.
False idols.
Love of money.
1,000%. And that's such a good one. That might be one of the biggest.
That's so pervasive in our culture.
So pervasive.
Sure. And it's enticing, though. It's enticing. You know what I mean?
Yes, dude. The love of money, it's scary, dude. And all this to say, like, on the record, it's like, it's not going to change overnight. Like, I think the Lord can change your heart in that way. And some people are more inclined to the Lord changed my heart. And I think it's more of a, you see that in the book of, all the way through, Genesis to Deuteronomy. You see this idea that I think people forget about this, is that there's an overarching theme of the Bible, which is God, God promised in the Old Testament that He would destroy death, and in the New Testament He shows how He did it. And there's this, like, you have this Genesis, right? You start in Genesis and you have these people who are, you have the creation story, then you have these people who are they're the chosen people of the Lord. They represent humanity, and they're like going through this journey the entire time, but the entire time they're like so hard-headed. They deny God. They have false idols. They do the most. You know about it. They end up 40 nights and before they enter the promised land, they do a whole bunch of debaucherous stuff, and God just has to hammer them in over and over again. It's like sharpening the iron. Iron sharpens iron. He has to continue to sharpen the blade over and over again. They annoy Him so much. He He wipes the earth with a flood. He rebuilds it. It's like, then He brings them out of Egypt, and then they do this and that, and then Moses has a point of anger, and it's like He's always working and hammering into this idea before you enter the promised land. It's this overarching theme. It's like, this is the everyday man. That's what it is. That's what the theme of that is that I think that I believe the Lord can do anything, but for me, it's like the Lord is always hammering. It's like I want to stop cussing, and I'll be cussing on this podcast. I want to, quit pornography and continue to work on just, a girl walking down the street. It's like I see she has a big butt or something, like refusing to look, so I don't have these thoughts, or I want to stop feeling jealous.
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel jealous, like, and it's always a continuous hammer, always. And the Lord does that. It's like the conviction is whenever I do these things, the way the Lord has changed my heart is that I feel much worse than I did before I was saved. It's like the shame is there, and the shame can be used. I think the shame can be used in so many different ways. Like you can take the shame and like let it ruin you, or you can take the shame and go like, hey God, please continue to convict me. A prayer that I say a lot is, Lord, give me all the failures that I need to do to be closer to you.
Yeah, baby, need top 5 when I'm done going mental. Yeah, I'm locked in, you can peep my credential, man, the lab all winter, all summer. Yeah, I went dumb, now I'm about to go dumb.